Hey everyone, welcome to At Work. I'm Tori Johnson. We talk a lot about fulfilling professional goals, and the good news is we can put to use some of the very same tactics to meet our personal goals too. Here to tell us how to do just that is Rich Horwath, author of Strategy for You, Building a Bridge to the Life You Want. Hey Rich.
Tori, great to be with you.
So you have worked for 20 years with very large corporations. You've seen all sorts of people at all different levels, and you say that as a whole we put more energy into our professional success than our personal success. Why is that, and why does it matter?
One word, and that is time. Most people feel they simply don't have time to spend on themselves. They're taking care of other people in their life, whether it's family or friends or relatives. They're spending a lot of time at work, and the reality is people feel like, I just don't have the time to sit down and focus on myself and really creating a plan for who they are and where they want to go in life.
And that's where you come in, because you have developed a 5-step strategy to help us develop that plan, to help us to achieve the life that all of us want, whatever it is that we dream for ourselves. And so the very first step you start with is discover.
Exactly, discover. And really that's about finding your purpose. So where is that intersection of your talent, your passion, your knowledge, and your skills? And the reality is most people have that intersection. They simply don't believe that they can focus on that and be happy and earn a living and help other people. But the reality is, if we truly discover what that purpose is and then find channels to use that purpose in, then we've started from a place where very few people start from, because the reality is only about 2 out of every 10 people has a job that they're really fulfilled with.
All right, and so it's really focusing on it. And then from there, differentiate.
Right. The word excellence is described as deviation from the norm. So excellence is deviation from the norm. If we're doing the same things in the same ways as normal people in normal companies or normal neighborhoods, the reality is we're never going to be excellent. So we've got to find what's that unique skill, what's that unique combination of talent, of knowledge that we have, and then find ways to use that. If you look at the famous performers going back to Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, and now Lady Gaga, they're all different from their contemporaries.
And so how do you help people do that? Like, to the people who say, like, I don't know how I'm different, frankly. Like, I'm pretty mediocre, or I think I'm mediocre, and I don't know what differentiates me. What is there a question that they can ask themselves, an exercise that they can do to kind of get to that point of differentiation?
Yeah, that's a great point. What we want to do is go back and look at your past. Find times, whether it's been at work, in college, in high school, whether it's in your social life, and pick out times where you were really engrossed, where you really engaged with what you were doing, and chances are there was some use of differentiation. Your uniqueness was showing through, whether it was your sense of humor, your compassion, your knowledge, whatever it was. And so go back and trace through some of your past experiences to find where that differentiation really is.
All right, step 3, decide.
Decide. And you know, the word decide comes from the Latin word decidere, which means to cut off. So inherently, when we make decisions, we should be cutting some things off. The biggest problem I see people making is they spread themselves too thin. We're trying to be all things to all people. We want to volunteer a few hours here. We're spending a few more hours on Facebook a month. We're spending a lot of time at work. And the reality is we're not satisfied. We're not fulfilled because we've spread ourselves too thin. So at one point, we've got to decide where are we going to focus to make ourselves and the people in our life the happiest. And then we need to cut out or cut off the areas where we're wasting time, we're wasting money, we're wasting talent.
All right, design.
Design. You know, if an architect went to a house and they had the job site there, they're going to have the blueprints with them, because to build a house, to build a bridge, you need to have a blueprint. Our lives are infinitely more complex because they're always changing. Yet oftentimes we don't have a blueprint or a plan for our life. So I've come up with a strategy print, which is a 2-page blueprint where you can outline your goals, your objectives, and then most importantly, the strategies, the path, the bridge that's going to take you from where you are today to where you want to go.
And to get there, step 5, drive.
Drive. And this might be the toughest one because it really demands 2 things. It demands that we prepare, and it demands that we persevere. The reality is, when we look at successful people, we say, oh, they were an overnight success. I mentioned Lady Gaga before. Many people probably haven't heard of her producer, Red One. But for many, many years, Red One struggled to make it successfully in music as a producer. He even recalled accounts of him sleeping on the floor of a restaurant because he didn't have money, yet he stayed true to his purpose and his dreams, and today he's a world-renowned record producer.
All right, Rich, you also recommend a whole lot of to-dos to help us get through that 5-step plan, a whole lot of to-dos for success, but you as well emphasize having a do not list, that it's just as important if you're going to ultimately get where you want to go. So what kind of list does that entail? What kind of things are on that list?
Yeah, you know, I think one of the reasons we don't often accomplish our New Year's resolutions, for instance, losing weight and things like that, we focus on what needs to be done. And a lot of times that's overwhelming. But if we come back to say, okay, what do we need to stop doing? Well, let's take losing weight. If we stop eating that third piece of stuffed pizza here in Chicago, then maybe that gives us a chance to lose a little bit weight. If we stop spending as much time on the internet and get out and ride the bicycle more, maybe that helps us. So we need to, you know, too many people complain, we don't have the resources, I don't have the time. We do have the time. What we need is the discipline to say no to the things that aren't adding value and really crystal clearly come up with that not to-do list, the areas where we're not going to spend time, we're not going to spend talent, so we can be as focused as possible.
All right, great information. Thanks so much, Rich, for coming and talking to us.
Tori, thank you.
Sure, and to start building your bridge, check out Strategy for You. It's on sale now.